Hello, my name's Dylan Shortridge, and if you don't know who I am, I'm on a mission to bring home renovation companies into the 21st century by ditching the flyers and all the outdated forms of advertising and instead implementing digital marketing strategies that really work. So, this video here today is all about how to run Facebook ads. And I'm just going to start by prefacing that this is not a technical side of the Facebook ads and showing you how to, actually get the ads up and running and all that stuff. But don't worry, we will have a video coming up about that in the future. This video is more teaching you how you should think when you are running Facebook ads and how you should optimize them and test them and make sure that they're always performing well as you actually run the campaign from the start, from your actual initial creation of the campaign through to optimizing it and making sure that it's always pulling in the cheapest leads and the best leads you can get. So, as I said, advertising fundamentals. All good advertising is actually just testing. It comes from really stringent and thorough testing, and tests should be carried out following the scientific method. But don't worry, that doesn't mean you need a degree in astrophysics to do this efficiently. So I'm going to quickly talk to you about the scientific method. This is a huge simplification of the scientific method, but it's all you need to know in order to test ads effectively. So what a test is, it's a collection of variables. Some of the variables you have control over, others you do not. And all these variables need metrics that can be measured in order for the test to be successful. And when you're performing a test, you should only change one variable at a time and then wait and see the results. Before testing the variables, it's important to create a hypothesis on what you think might happen as a result of changing said variable. Following the completion of the test, you should use the results as feedback and then compare those to your hypothesis to see what changes you should make, and then you just repeat. And through repeating these tests, you will eventually come up with a conclusion and you'll get the results. And then all of Facebook advertising should just be, running these tests over and over and over again and constantly optimizing and constantly seeing what works and what's better within your market. And the market is sort of, in this scientific method, what would be considered as the environment. This is something you don't have control over. But all of the other inputs and other variables that you do have control over, you need to see how they'll react to the market, or more so how the market will react to them. So, when you first log into your Facebook ad campaign, it might be a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot on there. There's so many metrics, options, campaigns, goals, and so much more. So, it's important to sort of strip it back to a point where you know what metrics are important to measure and which inputs and variables you should be testing and which ones are important for you to care about. So, firstly, you're going to come to the campaign level. Like I said, we will have a video going through all of this and what this actually looks like on the software, but this video is more just for your understanding. So at the campaign level, you don't really test anything here. In almost all cases, you should be doing a leads campaign. In the old way of doing Facebook ads was that you might run an engagement campaign just to get more traffic, and then from that try and put them through to a leads campaign, and loads of other different things that used to work but don't work now. Now Facebook's very good at just getting you leads from a leads campaign, which is the point of it. But at the campaign level, you will basically decide how your campaign is going to be optimized, whether it's going to be ad set budget optimization or campaign level budget optimization. And just a quick simplification of what that is, it's whether you set the budget at the campaign level, where Facebook's algorithm decides where each bit should be spent on each ad set, or you do it one level down, which is the ad set level, and then you can put the budget on for each ad set. So you might have 3 ad sets at £10 a day, or you might have a campaign at £30 a day. And then each ad set might not get £10 a day. It will go wherever Facebook thinks is best. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's better to do ad set. For new campaigns, we almost always use ad set because you have more control over how the budget is spent, and it makes it much easier for you to keep the test fairer. Once you have some options and some variables that work, then it might be a good idea to move over to CBO, campaign budget optimization. But at first, we find it's better to do ad set budget just to really know which variables you're testing, and then you have a much more control over the budget. You can choose where it's going, and you can manipulate it in order to get the right desired test that you want. So then secondly, you'll get to the ad set level, and this is where we test your targeting options mainly. So that would be things like your age, your gender, where they actually live. Some of those options, like where they actually live, that's not something you're going to test. That's something that realistically you probably already know where your customers are coming to you from. If you're a local business selling kitchens and bathrooms, you probably have maybe a 30-kilometer radius around you that customers will come to you from, or customers that you'd be willing to go out to. But you'll know that. You don't really test that. But things like age, gender, and other interest and demographic options, you would choose there. And again, when we go into the other video, we'll talk a lot more in detail about what you should test here. But in general, you kind of want to keep things open. And let Facebook figure it out a little bit here. We like to do things like lookalike audiences, which is where you look at the people that have already become your leads, or you look at the people that already engage with you on Facebook, and then you let Facebook's algorithm find people that look like them and then test to those. Obviously, you don't always have that data if you're a new ad account that's starting out. So you might just have to keep it really broad until you get some leads and then nail it down. And that's the other thing with Facebook ads is Facebook ads do best from stability. So obviously, you want to be testing things regularly, but you also want to be keeping it as stable as possible. So, by testing it correctly and only testing one variable at a time, you will do that. That won't be a problem. And then finally, obviously, you'll get to the ad level, not the ad set level. We've just done that one. And at the ad level, this is where you're testing the ad copy and the creative, and also things like forms. You may have a few different form options that you're going to test. You may also be testing a landing page, where they take you through to your website. But these are all things that are tested there. So now you know about the different variables which you will be testing. It's a little bit complicated knowing how you should test them and which ones you should test first. So I'm going to take this back as if you had never run a Facebook ad campaign before, and there's no data available to make decisions on, and everything is being tested. So yeah, in the initial period, you are basically just testing everything. You will hopefully have come up with a good idea of what you think might work, and we'll have videos later talking about different creative options to use, different copy options to use, and how you should structure your audience. So you can watch those videos, and then you can have more of an idea of how to start your campaign off on the right foot. Because if you are really just going in and just having a go at it, you might have some trouble, because there are certain things that do work much better and certain things that do work worse, and knowing those to begin with mean that you can start your campaign off on the right foot and hopefully won't be testing too much further down the line, because you'll have a good idea already. So how much you can test is very much based on your budget. A lot of people also say that your budget should be based on the area that you're working in. We personally don't think that's true. We think that the budget really should only be based on how much you're actually testing. Obviously, more budget, you can push more ads out, so you can test more much quicker, and you can get the volume up, and you can make those data-driven decisions quicker, because that's the important thing about this testing. Everything needs to be based on the data, and with more budget, you will get more data quicker because you'll get more impressions and more reach quicker. So if you had a budget from somewhere between £700 to £1,000 per month, we would recommend 2 audiences, 2 creative options, and 2 copy options. So what that would look like is you'd have 2 ad sets with 4 ads in each, because obviously the 2 creative and the 2 copy options, you would use the copy option on both creative options, so they multiply to create the variables. If you're somewhere between £1,000 per month to £2,000 per month, you can have 3 to 5 audiences, and then 3 creative and 3 copy options. So that would look like 6 ads in between, or no, it's not 6, it'd be 9, because obviously the multiplications go, it's in order of, because you have more options there. And then 2,000 plus, you could go, well, we don't really think that you ever need to go more than 5 audiences. You may do if you're someone that has multiple locations that you work in, because maybe you want to split up the locations in one campaign, or maybe you might be running separate campaigns for each location. But in general, you shouldn't really need more than 5 audiences. The way that we run ads is that most of the time the audience section is pretty much as open as possible. We often like to test men versus women. Then we also test a few things, like I was saying earlier, lookalike audience and things like that. But to be able to test that, you don't need that many audience options. And if you're testing more than 5 audiences, then you're probably going a little bit too much in depth, or too much into the audience itself, and probably actually holding yourself back from getting good results. So yeah, and then you might use 4 creative options and 4 copy options. Again, you don't need more than this, because these multiply. Because for every 1 creative option, you have to have 4 options of that with the same copy on, so that you can test. Let me just sort of show you what it would look like. And I'll just make a bit here. So you would have copy 1, creative 1, And this is literally how I write it when I'm making ads in Facebook Ads Manager. But then from that would be also copy 1, creative 2, copy 3, copy 1, creative 3, and so on. And that's how you test these, because then you'll see if there's one copy that's doing really, really well, it will probably be doing really well across all the creatives that it's doing, or maybe better, or vice versa. You might have one creative that's doing really well across all the copies, and then once you get that data, and you can start to sort of merge these together and create like Frankenstein ads that have been made up for all the different things you've got, and you will get some that perform really well. It's just a matter of time and a matter of testing them stringently and thoroughly. So yeah, that's basically what I was saying there. Remember the combination, create more variables. So, you know, back to where we were. You've just started your ad campaign. You've launched your first ads. Hopefully you've watched our videos for showing you how to make the ads and how to get set off on the right foot. So after your initial testing period, which should be around 5 to 7 days, I would push to say more like 5 days, no matter what your budget, more like 7 days, no matter what your budget is, especially for the first test, because you're just trying to get a bulk load of data in really quickly, a little bit of stability for Facebook, and not add a whole lot of extra stuff in yet. Now you've gathered all that data, though, it's time to start making a hypothesis about what you're going to test next. As a rule of thumb, we like to nail home the audience options first. If you have good ad copy and good creative options, which you will do if you watch our videos, then your audience targeting is going to be the thing that has the most impact on how your campaign performs. So you should really nail them home first. What you'll find in some areas, men respond much better. Some areas, women respond much better to your ads. Or even at certain different times of year can change that too. So it's always good to have these different things being able to test, and then not like being able to test it and then retest it. I think the important thing is, just because you got the one result one time doesn't mean you'll get the same result the next time, which is kind of what I'll go on to in a little bit when I talk about how to keep the test fair. But once you've found a set of audiences that are, working and consistently pulling in the leads, then it's time to dial in the creative. So you should be testing things such as video ads, photo ads, and carousels all at once to see which format works best for you. And from there, you can fine tune which specific videos or which specific pictures or which specific carousels work the best. Again, we'll have videos on this and showing you what we think works and what's worked for our clients, and showing you a lot more on how you can use them in your own ad campaigns. And then finally, once you think you've got some creatives and an audience that's working pretty well, then you should look to make improvements on the copy. You should test different headlines and different primary text to see what works. There is also the description text that you use in Facebook, but most of the time we leave that blank, because on a lot of the formats in which Facebook will be showing you the ads, they won't even see that. So if it's coming up on the stories, they won't see that. If they're scrolling on the phone on some apps, they won't see that. So the description is like, I would say, something that you should ignore and just leave blank. And remember, once you've started with a few options for these, because you started with a few options for your creative and for your copy, while you're dialing in your audience options, you're still gathering data on the creatives and the copy. So when it comes round to the time that you are going to test the creatives and the copy, you've got a load of data to base these decisions off. It might take you 2 weeks to nail in an audience that you like. But in those 2 weeks, you'll still be gathering data on all of these, creative and copy options, so that when it comes to it, you'll probably already have a good, video seems to be working really well. Maybe let's record another video for this, or this photos looks really good. Let's get more photos like this photo. And yeah, that's sort of the order in which we recommend that you test. Obviously, every ad campaign is different, and there may be some sort of thing going on that means that you want to test something else at a different time, and that's totally fine. But it's good to sort of have these as a rule of thumb and a sort of framework approach to look at. But you can obviously stray from it and change it and adapt it to your business and how that works. So how are you going to keep these tests fair? Keeping these tests fair, you should only make decisions if the ad or ad set has sufficient volume in reach and impressions. That's why for here we keep these lower, with a lower ad spend, because you need to make sure that it's going to get enough impressions quickly enough that you can make the decisions. If you were spending £700 a month, but you had 5 audience, 4 creative options and 4 copy options, likelihood is a lot of those options would not be even near enough volume for you to be able to make an actual data-driven decision, because you need enough numbers on there for the patterns to show and for it to regress to the mean. So yeah, that's the key thing, is make sure there's sufficient volume. And also sometimes, for whatever reason, an ad may not be pushed by Facebook. We've seen it all the time on our ad campaigns where, for whatever reason, when an ad goes in, the algorithm just doesn't push it. And there's one ad that's got, thousands of impressions, and there's one that's like barely got 100. And it's like, why is Facebook not pushing this? And there's a number of reasons why Facebook might not be. Mostly it comes down to the initial conditions in which the ad was put out. And that means that, what you can do is take these ads that you don't know don't work. Facebook thinks that they don't work for whatever reason. Some bits of the algorithm are a bit of a mystery, even to people like me that advertise on Facebook all the time. And then what you can do is you can push these into a separate ad set of all the ads that got forgotten and test them there, because you never know. One of them might actually perform really well. It's just not seen enough volume to know if it does perform well. So that's another great option if you're having problems there, which is a fairly common thing we find on a lot of ads. And then, obviously the other way to keep the test fair is just test one thing at once. And also, we consider scaling as a test variable. So if you're deciding to up the ad spend, there is a certain way that you need to go about that and do that properly, because otherwise, you could break it. We'll again go through that in another video. That's not really the scope of this video. But just remember that if you are scaling, consider that as the test variable for that certain period of testing, and make sure you're doing it properly. Again, we'll show you how, don't worry. And what do you want to do if ads stop performing? Well, if an ad stops performing that's worked well in the past, it's likely that what you're encountering is ad fatigue. And ad fatigue is something that, as you dive into more and more of the Facebook advertising world, or any sort of advertising world, you'll probably hear this coming up a bit. And, ad fatigue is a tricky one, because, some people will tell you that if your frequency goes up above 2.5, then you've hit ad fatigue. That's not really necessarily the case. Ad fatigue is really only if you do have a high frequency on an ad and it stopped performing. That probably is ad fatigue. But you could have an ad that's got, even 3 in the frequency and still is performing well. So don't judge that just off that number. Only judge that on if the ad has been performing really well and then drops off. And the way to combat is this: simply test more variables. Usually you'll find that high performing ads will keep working for months, if not years, but they obviously can drop off. And that's why it's essential to keep testing new variables. And you do this by turning off the ads that aren't performing and replacing them with new variables. And another thing that you can do is, if you've been running this campaign for quite a while, you might have had an ad that worked really, really well and then dropped off. And then you've given it 6 months since that ad's, since it's been in circulation, and then you can start it up again. And likelihood is the market and the people that have seen it before and that were fatigued by it have probably forgotten about it, so that when it comes back, it will probably start working again. So do not delete your old ads. All this data is really important, and you can use it much further down the line. And they will still be able to generate you results further down the line once the ad fatigue has worn off. Another thing to remember, if you have an ad set that's performing okay, but you'd like to get it working better, what you can and should probably do is create separate testing ad campaigns or ad sets. This way you won't damage the results that you are currently getting. So you can test these things in a sort of safe area that is not going to impact your other results. And then test new hypotheses and new ideas. And if they work great, you can keep running them. And if they don't, it doesn't matter, because at least you're still getting the results from your other ad set. And that kind of brings me to the end of the video. The sort of key takeaway from this is that successful ad campaigns is just a result of testing, and understanding the data. Again, we're going to have more videos about the ins and outs of Facebook ads and how to actually set them up, and also about what metrics you should and shouldn't be tracking, and how you should use these KPIs and metrics to influence your decisions moving forward. So, if you are having any trouble with running Facebook ads for your kitchen or bathroom business, or just any part of sales or marketing, and you'd like to figure out how we might be able to help you out, there is a link in the description below. Feel free to click it. Just for full transparency, it is a sales funnel. I will be trying to sell you something, so you're more than welcome to not click it at all and just keep following the YouTube, where we'll be bringing out tons and tons of valuable content to help you grow your business. So that brings me to the end of the video. If you found this content at all valuable, please leave a like or subscribe, just to let YouTube know that you want to keep seeing more of my face. And if you have any ideas or any questions or concerns about your business that you'd like me to have a look at, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to look at them and potentially even make a video on them. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.